Today on the show, at last, Army confirms coup plot against Tinubu. Shore risks jail with leaked court proceedings. Soludo versus Anambra traders will also be one of our topics for today. In the course of the program, we take your questions, but first, subscribe to our YouTube channel and drop a question to the comment section. It's also important to mention that we can only read comments with human names and the ones based on the subject matter. I have joining me Vazum, the maestro himself, Babajide Kolade Otutoju. Good to see you, Mikhail.
Good to see you, Brian. I'm going to do this with you. And I say a big thank you to our viewers for being faithful with us through the years.
Absolutely. Okay, let's start off with the story of the coup, because in recent days, the Nigerian Defense Headquarters publicly acknowledged that a faction of military officers plotted to overthrow President Bola Tinubu's government, an admission that came after months of denials and speculations. Then we heard that 16 officers had to be tried before a military court for alleged indiscipline and planning to overthrow the constitutional order. BKO, given Nigeria's history with coups from the 1960s to the early 1990s, how significant is it that Defense Headquarters is acknowledging this now? And what does this say about Tinubu's civilian control over the armed forces?
Well, I think that it was unfortunate that they didn't come clean to Nigerians. It was unfortunate that they didn't tell Nigerians the whole truth and nothing but the truth. What was going on was that the soldiers were arrested for acts of indiscipline and all that. But we have seen now that what the military described as rumors were actually true. So I hope that in future they will be more accountable and they will let Nigerians know the truth rather than sending a dummy to fellow Nigerians. When in actual fact, the story that was reported, the story that was on the lips of many Nigerians was actually true. Many Nigerians were apprehensive. Many of them were worried because when you look at some of our neighbors, they are being ruled by military rulers. It has become more like a fad in West Africa for civilian regimes to be toppled and for them to be replaced by martial rule. And after the 2023 elections, some misguided Nigerians who had never seen military rule before were actually rooting for military rule. Some of them sheepishly went to the defense headquarters to plead that the military should take over. We also saw some Nigerians during the August process waving the flags of the foreign country and demanding for military rule. This is not what we want to see. Nigerians who have faced military rule before know that the worst civilian regime is better than military rule. They know that even during the military rules, no one is safe. Even their own colleagues are not safe. Between 1966 and 1999, we had military regimes, military coups. January 15, 1966, we had military coup, followed by another one on July 29, 1966. Then July 29, 1975, February 13, 1976, December 31st, 1983, August 27, 1985, April 22, 1990, 1990, that's the Oka Coup. And then November 17, 1993, when Sani Abacha overthrew the lame duck Enesonekon interim national government and supplanted him by himself. So with some of our neighbors already being ruled by the military, people were apprehensive about the story of this coup. But now the military have come out to tell us that indeed their findings showed that some officers tried to overthrow the Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration. Back then, when the story broke, they told us that, oh, these were just acts of indiscipline and breaches of service regulations. But we have seen now that the rumors actually were true. They acknowledge that they have actually arrested 15 persons who will go before the military judicial panel, which is also called martial. They will be tried for trying to topple the government, an elected government. Now, the worry for many Nigerians is that more than 16 persons were arrested. Some people are still being arrested as we speak. So how many people are they going to put on trial in the final analysis? The information released to Nigerians is not cast in stone. We could see more people being put on trial. But one thing is certain, they have already submitted the report of their investigation to the president, and they will go ahead with the trial of these officers. From the information available to me, the coup will have been bloody. In fact, it was said that the top 4 rulers, the top 4 leaders of our country would have been killed. That is the president, VP, Senate president, and the Speaker of the House of Reps. There were people that they were actually targeted to kill. It was said that the first, from their plan, they were supposed to strike during the passing out parade of the Nigerian Defense Academy. During that period, the president would have been hit, and some of the people around him would also have been killed. But they didn't strike during the passing out parade of the NDA. They then decided to move it forward and then strike at Eagle Square. But in the end, that also didn't happen because there was a leak of their plans. The president even stayed away from the event. So in any case, the president was their primary target, will have escaped because he did not attend that event. So nothing happened on the day. What I can say at this point, as somebody who witnessed a number of military coups and even reported military coups, is that this is purely a military affair. Civilians should not get involved. They should allow the military to sort out their issues by themselves. All we can demand for is that there should be greater vigilance. There should be heightened vigilance to ensure that Nigerians do not see military rule again. Some of us lost our friends, we lost our loved ones. Journalists were targeted and killed, and we do not want that to happen again. It is understandable when young people ask for military rule. because they never witnessed it, so they don't even know what it entails. They do not know that some of, if not most of the freedom that they are enjoying now will be taken away in the event of a military takeover. They do not know that at all. So, but at least those who know, those who have witnessed military rule, know how dangerous it is to our country, know that it's of no value to our country. Even their own high-flying colleagues are never safe because we always target one another, lie against one another in the name of military, and then find an opportunity to put some people on trial. 1995, there was no coup, but they told Nigerians that there was a coup. It was the opportunity to get out of the system some of the people that they do not like. Even Olusegun Obasanjo was lied against, accused of plotting a coup, and they didn't have any evidence whatsoever. So Nigerians or Nigeria as a country dodged the bullet with this revelation and with the way the military moved to arrest those who are planning a bloody coup. There's no doubt if we want to kill the president and the people who are next in line to him, their military aides, their security operatives will stand up to the coupists, which will worsen the bloodletting. So Nigeria dodged the bullet. We do not want to see military rule again. Absolutely. If it is happening around us, it must not get to us. So, and we expect the military to be more transparent next time in communicating with Nigerians. They should not put our people in the dark. They should let us know what exactly happened. And people will be interested in also knowing what transpires in the course of their trial.
Afterwards, that's right. The Thomas Egbele says we cannot afford to be ruled by virtual dictatorship again. The panacea to the attempts to overthrow civilian government is good governance. If Tinubu had been clueless, the story would have been different. And also we have Chinedu Okafor saying Nigerian coups have a long history. The real shock is not that there was a plot. It is that they admitted it. Amina Bello says, I give the military credit for coming clean. Democracy survives when institutions speak up, not hide things. Tunde Adebayo says, so for months, it was rumors. Now it's confirmed. Nigerians deserve to know what's changed. And Sadiq Lawal says, if officers are plotting coups in 2026, then someone somewhere is not doing enough warfare-wise. Okay, so BKO, before we change our line of thought, historically, let me just quickly squeeze this question in. Historically, Nigeria has endured coups, as you said, when civilian oversight was weak. Are we seeing echoes of those periods, or is this situation truly different? And what lessons should current leaders and civil society draw from past military interventions in politics, if you can do that quickly?
Yes, there has to be vigilance. There has to be serving delivery. Yes, some military coups were the results of overzealousness on the part and greed for power on the part of the soldiers. But it is important to give good governance because that will make a military coup unpopular. But when there is bad governance, there will be people who will be asking for military rule, especially people who are not witnessed it. A lot of our young people is not witness military. So if they're asking for it, they can be excused. They don't know what they're asking. So, and then eternal vigilance is described as the price of liberty. Nobody should say, oh, military rule cannot happen or that military cannot take over. All we need to do is make sure that we block all the avenues that the enemies of the Nigerian state can exploit. Once we block those avenues, we know that we are safe. Those of us who witness military rule lost our friends, almost lost our lives. We don't want to see anything like that again. So,
That's right.
but everyone has to be vigilant. Everyone has to play its part. The government must play its part, provide good governance, so that some of the restiveness that we are witnessing, even in the military, some of the grumblings will not happen. And then
Absolutely.
the intelligence officers in the military must continue the hard work. If they had not worked hard, the story will have been different. So we encourage them to continue to give their best, sniff out whatever strain of coup plotting that is still in the system. We have to snuff it out at this time so that we can have democracy, which I believe is much better than military. We can continue to have it, and they can continue to deliver good governance.
Absolutely.